Okay, so let me share my screen. Can you guys hear me okay? And my screen should be dark. Okay, so we should be good to go now. And I'll share my screen and we will get started. Okay, terrific. All right, so if you can hear me okay, all right, technical difficulties today. All right, so I'm going to share my screen so we can get started. It's about 12:10, and I really don't want to keep you for more than an hour. So let me get started. All right. Okay. So you all should be able to see my screen. Just one last check to make sure. Okay, and if you do not have your workbook, I've placed the link here in the chat for you to download and access it. So you can go ahead and do that now if you don't have it printed out already. All right, great. So now listen, I'm really an interactive person, so I'm going to need some feedback or something. Let me know you're still awake out there because I can't see the screen while I'm presenting. So you better at least hold your hand up or something. All right, let's go. Okay, so first of all, I want to welcome you to Power Productivity. And this really is a no excuses approach to clear the clutter and cut to the chase. And we're going to really talk about implementing some systems in your business in order for you to be more effective. So here's what I want you to do because I really want you to be present in this moment. I want you to turn off your social media, set your phone to the side, flip it over, put it on mute. If you need to grab a snack and a drink, go ahead and do that. Make sure you have your workbook printed. If you don't, like I said, the link is in the chat in order for you to go ahead and download that immediately, and you can print that out. Grab a pen and a backup if you need to, and get ready. I'm going to grab a drink of water here. Okay. So I can't see you in the chat, so I'm going to assume that you're ready, and I'm going to get going, and I might switch back out. But if you have any questions or anything, one of the things that I asked you in the workbook to do is to come up with a question that you would like to have answered during the webinar. So now that we're here, the chat is open. You can ask your question and I'll review that to make sure you get your question answered. And if I don't, I may have to email you directly. Okay? All right, so let's go. So, who am I? So here I am. That's me on the left, and there's my family. So I'm an Army wife, I'm a mom, I'm a Girl Scout troop leader, I'm a Little League parent, a cheerleading parent, I'm the chauffeur and the gopher. And, I'm also a business owner. I joined the home-based business industry back in 2009, and I actually started marketing online in 2010, all while still having a full-time job that included an hour commute each way, daycare pickups and drop-offs, and the regular life stuff. So I've been through a few companies, and I transitioned to work from home full-time in late 2011. But during that time from 2010 really up until about 2014 till early last year, I suffered. I was all over the place. I wasn't getting any rest, and I was running all the time. So in about mid last year, I took a step back and started looking at what was going on. And I realized that I just had too much stuff. I just had all this stuff. I was, going and making money, losing money. And then I just got tired of that. And so I just stopped. And I also moved in 2014. And during that move, and that's when I really started studying and looking at what was really going on in my business. And one of the things that I realized is that I was failing. And I was failing because I had all this stuff getting tossed at me from everywhere. But it wasn't the stuff that I was getting, it was the fact that I did not have any systems. I had no systems in place to handle it all. I didn't have the habits to make it all work. And really, that's how NEAT was created. I had to find ways to be successful. I had to find ways to make it work. I started to ask myself, what is really the no excuses approach to this? Meaning, I had to figure out a way that I could make this work no matter what. And that's where NEAT comes from, my company. You can see it down in the right-hand corner. And it's the no excuses approach too. And that's what I was asking myself. And so that's what power productivity is. It's the no excuses approach to productivity in your life. So let's talk about why you're here. You see these two. And, this is us, right? This is us in one form or another. Now, what I want you to do right now is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think for a minute. And I really do mean close your eyes and think for a minute. And I just want you to listen to me. I want you to think about what your days look like right now. I want you to picture how you wake up and think about how you spend your time. Think about how when someone asks you to do something or you realize you've forgotten to do something, that you give this big exhale that says, I just can't take another thing. I want you to think about how exhausted you feel when your day is over. Think about right now, where you might not even be focused on this webinar, but thinking about other things that you have to get done. And I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be this way. All the too much to do, not having enough time, feeling overwhelmed, can't seem to catch a break, you feeling like you're spinning your wheels. It doesn't have to be this way. Right now, you're overwhelmed, exhausted, you procrastinate, and you feel like the faster you go, the behinder you get. So I want you to open your eyes now. Let me tell you what you want. If you saw this movie, Shawshank Redemption, this is really one of my favorite movies. Andy Dufresne spent 20 years digging a hole to get out of prison. When he finally escaped, he crawled through the sewer to get out. Your being here says you're digging the hole. You dug the hole. Now it's time to crawl to the crap to get to the freedom. And today's training is really going to show you how to get out of the madness. I'm here to help you clear the clutter from your life and cut to the chase. And my goal is to give you the steps to implement a system that you can maintain to where you will wake up productive and fall asleep without a care because everything is where it's supposed to be. Your brain can finally shut off and rest. So that's what the goal is. All right, so at this point, I want you to open your workbook so you can get ready to take some notes and be engaged. All right. Okay, so here we are. The no excuses approach to power productivity is in 5 steps. Step 1 is capture. Step 2, clarify. Step 3 is to contain. Step 4, complete. And step 5, check up. And I want you to fill those in the blanks. And I've added an area for you to take some notes so you can scribble some stuff down. Now, the first thing that I want you to write down to understand what we're trying to get to, I want you to understand the difference between efficiency and being effective. Okay? Efficiency is getting as much done as possible in as little time as you can, where effectiveness is getting the right things done as quickly as you can. And what we're going to do with this productivity training is to give you the steps to be effective. Okay? Effective is what's going to get you the most bang for your buck. All right, so let's look at them one by one. All right, so when you look at these 2 images, which one is easier to handle? You've got this crowd of balls over here on the left, but you've got this basket over here on the right. Okay, which one of these is easier to handle? In the capture phase, you have to have a way to catch all the stuff. Because what I want you to do is think about all the roles you fill in your life. You're a parent, you might be a PTA board member, you might be a caregiver for an elderly parent, you might be a grandparent who's caring for your children's children, you might be a volunteer, a friend, a mother, a daughter, a father, a son. The fact is that we all wear different hats, but one of the essentials to the capture, the main essential, is that you have to have a central base of operations. Okay, that one specific place where you receive your tasks, you work on your tasks, and that this is where you work. So for me, I have I have my desk. So it can be a desk, it can be a workstation in your kitchen, but what you have to have is a specific place in order for you to work. So the essential elements of capture, it's a specific place to receive your tasks. It's a central place for your base of operations, and it's a place where you're going to give regular attention. For instance, in my house, like I said, I have my desk. So if my kids want me to see something, they'll put it on my desk. They have folders that come home from school. All of that goes on my desk. So after school, while they're doing their homework, I'm going through everything that I need. So find that one central place. It can't be, your desk here, the kitchen counter, in the bedroom. That's too much stuff. One place. Okay? The next step is to clarify. All right, so there's a couple of things that you really need to clarify in your life. One of the things is that you really need to get clear on your definition of success and get clear on what your goals are. Okay, that's before you do anything with these tasks. You have to know in which direction you are going. So with those things in mind, as the flow of information comes to you, you've got to identify what the task really is and what it means to you, if it means anything. Then you need to decide what needs to be done. Once you decide that what needs to be done, you need to ask yourself, am I the right person to do this? So you think about your favorite Aunt Susie calls to tell you that she needs to go to the grocery store. But you know that her son lives 5 doors down from her and you live across town. So you're going to ask yourself, really, Aunt Susie, I love you, but why can't you ask so and so? Because that may not necessarily be the right thing for you to do at that moment. Am I saying that you cannot take care of your responsibilities? Absolutely not. But what happens is when people come to us to ask for help or to give us something to do, it's because they don't want to do it themselves, they don't know how to do it, or they don't want to do it. So then they come to you because they know you will say yes. So when you start getting things in, when people start calling you or you start receiving tasks, even if it's from work, even if it's from your business, I'll give you a prime example. You know, my website, can I build a blog? Absolutely. But am I the right person to do it? No, because I don't know how to do it well enough to make it to where it's functional and make it do all the things that I want it to do. I don't know how to do that. So that I'm not the right person. So when you get things into your business and into your life that come to you as things for you to do, you need to stop, say, okay, what is this person really asking me to do here? And then determine what the next step is. And just ask yourself, really, am I the right person to do this? And if the answer is no, then that's when you say, okay, well, maybe you should ask so and so, or let me call another person for this. This is also what outsourcing is all about. So, does that make sense? I hope so. But if not, put your questions in the chat and I will check those. Okay. All right. The next step is to contain. Now, this is really all about getting organized. So let me say this, and this is what I want you to think about. The only thing that needs to be outside of the box is your thinking and your imagination. Everything else needs its place. So there are 3 parts that make containment work for you. One is that it has to be easily accessible to you. 2, you have to be able to easily find what you need. And 3, you've got to be able to easily to maintain it. It has to be somewhat fun, because if not, then you won't do it. So that's where having files at your desk or in a file cabinet that's within arm's reach, that's where this works for you. Okay. Again, everything has to be in its place, and all over your desk is not in its place. I used to tell that lie. Yeah, my desk is a mess, but I know where everything is. Yeah, right. If you have a containment system where it's organized, then you'll know where to find things. You can put those things away so that you're not working in some chaos. Now, many people ask about having an assistant. And let me tell you this. You train your assistant to work for you, not the other way around. And that's why, as a business owner, you need to be on this type of training, because you teach your assistant how to use your organization system, because assistants will come and go, you will still be there. And if you happen to be in between assistants, you need to know how to find things. And then when that new assistant comes along, you don't have time to be trying to find out what the last assistant did with it. So that is why this is up to you. So once you build this organization system to fit for your business, you can train whoever it is that's working for you how to use it. And you can still have access to use it yourself. All right, step 4 is to complete the tasks. Okay? Now, with completing the task, you have gone through, you have gotten rid of tasks that don't belong to you. You've clarified if the task really is something that is in line with where you want to go. You've gotten clear on your goals and all of that. You're organized and everything. Now it's time to get to work. So this is where planning comes in, planning your weeks, planning your months. And these are the 3 things that go into the completion step. 1, you've got to determine how much time you have. Okay. And so with that, and if you don't have a copy of my Goal Getter Weekly Planner, I highly suggest you get it. It's a fabulous tool. But then that's what we got to look at, planning out our weeks. We got to plan time to sleep. We got to plan time to eat. You got to plan those things in your day so that you can make time for the things that are a priority for you. John Maxwell said, the difference between a leader and a follower is the ability to think ahead and prioritize your responsibilities. So when you look at your week, you want to fill your calendar with those things that are a priority for you. And those priorities are directly related to your definition of success and what your goals are. So if you've got a goal to, to lose 10 pounds, then one of the things that you're going to schedule as a priority is exercise. Another thing that you might schedule as a priority is meal planning time. If you have a goal to earn $1,000 in the next 2 days, well, guess what? Then you need to plan your time so that that time includes tasks that are relative to you earning your $1,000 in 2 days. So then everything is in alignment. What you have planned in your calendar, which is the way you're going to spend your time, is in direct relation to the goals that you have set in your life. And understanding that with the roles that you fill in your life, you're going to have different goals for each. And I'll give you a prime example. One of my goals as a mom is to get my daughter uh, completely ready for softball. Completely ready mean getting her registered, getting her new cleats, getting her new softball pants and socks and all of that stuff. So all of that is set in my calendar to do. And I've got enough time to where I don't have to do it all at once. So one day I might go get cleats, another day I might go get pants. So it's not also overwhelming and I have to do it all now. So in your role as a parent, your role as a business owner, your role as a caregiver, all of those things need to go into your plan. And we can't live life exclusively. One of the failures that I've seen in a lot of productivity training is that it's just focused on business. But we're not one-dimensional people. We've got other stuff going on. If we were all just so blessed to be able to focus on just one aspect of our lives and the other stuff just miraculously happened, that'd be absolutely wonderful. But that's just not the case. So what we have to do is really plan our lives based on the roles that we fill and the goals we set for each of those roles. And then we schedule the tasks that are related to what we said we want to accomplish. And when you do that, then all of the extraneous stuff comes in, and then you know what to say no to. And that's where we get to this completion step, because here, by the time you've gotten to the completion step, you are focused on things that are related to your goals and your definition of success and not everybody else's. Okay, so I think I just beat that horse to death. So I really, I really hope that helped you out. I wasn't even planning on saying all that. Okay, step 5 is the checkup. It's time for review. Okay, so here's the one thing that we know in life. Stuff is gonna happen, right? I don't care how great our plan is, stuff is going to happen. And so during this weekly review time, that's when you go back and see, okay, what did I miss? And you have time to go back and catch up on those things. So you've got to check up on those ongoing projects to make sure they're on point. And, and to talk about projects, everything's a project, right? Everything really is a project. Like I just talked about getting my daughter ready for softball. That's a project because it involves multiple things. So you have to think in terms of just, the big picture things, but also the little things that are involved. And so when you're doing your weekly checkup, you're checking up on 3 things. You are checking up on the things that you have delegated to others, anything that you were not able to complete, right? Because of those hiccups. Like right now, I'm looking outside my window and it is snowing like crazy. I'm expecting to get a phone call that says, hey, come pick up your kid. So if that happens to me with my plan for today, I know there are going to be some things that I'm not going to be able to get done. And my weekly review time will allow me to go back to my calendar and say, okay, I was unable to complete this, this, and this. I need to go and either reschedule that or need to see if I can get it done today. Okay. And number 3, you need to check any incomplete tasks that are related to ongoing projects. So stuff that you've delegated to others, any incomplete tasks that you missed throughout the week, and any tasks that are related to ongoing projects. These are the things that you need to check up on and when you're reviewing your calendar. And what this does is this really allows you to stay in control. It allows you to look from the 30,000-foot view and see where you are and to see how you are actually progressing on the things that you said that you want to accomplish. Okay, so this is where I think a lot of times we mess up, where we don't go back and look at what we missed, and then it comes back to bite us later on. We don't want that. By having your weekly checkup, you're able to look and say, oh, I missed this, and we're more proactive than reactive. And so, here we are. And one of the things I want to say is that, when people hear productivity, and I want to say this and be crystal clear about it. When people hear the term productivity, they automatically think, oh, this is about multitasking. So if you don't get anything else from me, I want you to get this. Multitasking is not a good idea. Okay, it's just not. And we were not designed to be multitaskers. All right, multitasking was a term coined for computers, not for people. And that term came because computers were moving so fast that they said, oh, the computer is doing all of these tasks at once. But in reality, computers can only process one piece of code at a time. They're just doing it so fast that it looks like all of these things are happening at once. So if a computer can't multitask, neither should you. And that's not what productivity is. Productivity is being effective in the tasks that you select to produce the results that you want. That is what productivity is. Okay? So now look, there are 3 reasons you're on this webinar right now. You're frustrated because it seems like you can't complete a thought, complete a project, and you've got all of these things going on in your life. You're feeling overwhelmed because you've got stuff coming at you from everywhere, and I know how that feels. And the fact is that sometimes you've got so much stuff coming at you that you don't even know what to do first. And so for that reason, you procrastinate because it's all too much, and you just wait to see what blows up first to see what you need to react to at that moment. And you're sitting here thinking to yourself, holy smokes, if I just had a way to deal with all this stuff. And if you're thinking that, I'd like to invite you to let me help you. Okay? So these are your choices. You can either continue like you are in the frustration, the overwhelm, and procrastination, and things just falling apart, or you could let me help you in a simple, straightforward, no excuses way to manage your life as a whole and your business. Because quite frankly, our lives are a part of our business are a part of our lives. And so I want to invite you to take part in my Power Productivity Coaching Program. In this program, I will hold your hand and walk you through all of the phases of getting organized and implementing the system. This is the fastest way from A to B. And so it is a 4-week course. In week 1, we capture the task and we clear the clutter. You're going to go through all of the things related to the hats that you wear in your life. I'm going to help you decide what stays and what goes. Then we'll group everything together so that you can go through each task that is assigned to you. This is not about reshuffling things. This is taking a really hard look at what's on your plate and decided what needs your attention versus what you just simply need to ditch. In week 2, we're going to clarify and contain. That's where I'll show you how to review your tasks to see what is relevant to you and how to organize them so that you can focus on your priorities. You'll receive a list of low-cost tools to use in your organization, which some of them you might even have already. And you'll start to use those in week 2. We'll talk about scheduling and how to actually schedule so that you'll operate at your maximum effectiveness. And one of the things that we're also going to talk about is really how your mind works in all of this, how you mentally make a shift in getting organized and how you think about being organized. Okay? And number 3, week 3, we'll look at how to get things done. We'll discuss procrastination. We are going to tackle it head on and how to deal with procrastination once and for all. How cool would that be to not procrastinate about anything anymore? All right, in week 4, we're going to go through the checkup part, and then we're going to review some things. We're going to discuss how to properly review your work to make sure you're headed in the direction that you want to go. And we'll also have some review time to go over everything that you have learned and how you are implementing. Okay, now the first class is starting on March 7th. So you'll need to get registered, because the registration is going to close on March 3rd. Now, here are your options. As you can see here, the link at the bottom, www.powerproductivity.net. This is where you can go to get signed up. And you have two options. You have your basic package and your power package. And I made these so they would be affordable for anyone. Because listen, nobody thinks that they need to get organized until they are in trouble. And I commend you for being here now. So with the basic package, you get the 4 weeks of power productivity training, and you also get access to our exclusive Facebook community. And that investment is $297 or 2 payments or for $157. The power package is where you're going to get the most value, the most bang for your buck. In addition to the training and Facebook community, you'll also get access to a weekly implementation call that'll happen throughout the course. You'll also get a bonus session 5 where we'll really sit down and you can ask questions and talk about how you've been implementing the training into your life and clear out some cobwebs and some bugs and all of that stuff. All right. Then we'll also create your personal success plan. And these are individual plans to help you establish routines that are going to set you up for success. And lastly, we're going to have calendar planning training. And what this is, and you think about, oh, it's just a calendar. Listen, it's not just a calendar. Your calendar is your life put on paper. And so with this bonus training, I'm going to help you really hone in on how to plan your life and the things that you need to plan in order to be successful and reach the goals that you want to reach. Okay, and the power package is an investment of $347 or 2 payments of $197. Okay, so I am going to check and see if there are any questions. All right, hold on a second. Let me. All right, there you are. Okay, let's see here. All right, I see somebody said they did not get any links in the chat. All right, so I'm going to put 2. Okay, so this one is to access the workbook. All right, there's that one. And then the link to the coaching, I'll put that in here too, so you can just click on it and go. Can't type right now. Okay. And James says it taped or live. Yes, this is actually live, but it is being recorded as well. Okay. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions about the training or about the course itself? Okay, so either there aren't any questions, or I was really, really thorough. So, I'm just looking through the chat here. Okay. No, I couldn't I couldn't see the comments because my screen was showing. So it wasn't that I was ignoring you, I just couldn't see them. That is one of the downfalls to having webinars sometimes, that you can't see everything that's going on at once. Okay, let's see. All right, somebody sent me a private message. Okay, all right, so the question is about the containing part. Okay, so here's the deal. You've got to be able to maintain your stuff. Okay, that's just what it is. Now, what I teach in the course, I'm going to actually teach you low tech, because if you can go low tech, then you can take it up to the high tech part. I'm one of those people that really believes that if you can't if you don't know the long way around, you can't appreciate the shortcuts, nor can you use the shortcuts effectively, okay? So in the training, I give you a low tech approach that you can definitely scale up to a more high tech, electronic version, but I teach you how to get everything organized and contained first. And then as you get used to the habits establishing that system, then you can tweak it to fit your own needs, because not everything is a one size fits all. You know, you know what your life is like. You have to live your life. I don't. I'm just here to give you the tools, to give you that solid foundation, and how you build your building after that is entirely up to you. So I hope that answered that question about containing. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, well, if not, I want to show you how you can connect with me. All right. So here I am. I'm on Facebook. And actually, I would love it right now if you've gotten some value out of this to head on over to my Facebook page at Let's Get Neat and put what was your takeaway? What nugget did you get from this training to help you get organized and be productive in your business? I'd love to hear from you. If you're on Instagram, Let's Get Neat, I like looking at pictures. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'll definitely follow you back. I'd love to see what you've got going on. Pin with me on Pinterest. I love some Pinterest. And hey, I'm on Twitter too. All right. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for sharing your afternoon with me. I'm excited. I kept this under an hour, which is what I wanted to do. So I hope I did not talk too fast. That's just me. I'm working on that. But again, thank you so much for coming and spending your time with me. Like I said, head on over to my Facebook wall. I'd love to hear from you and have you join my community. Okay, so that's it for me. I'll see you next time.